let's talk about storytelling and importance of storytelling in your images. When you create some kind of an artwork, and let's say you render something and you want to put it on your portfolio, and it's a cool model, the best way to enhance it, right? The best way to push it further is by creating a story. So creating some kind of an image that looks like a still from a movie or some kind of a scene that will tell additional stories. So you have a model, you present your work, but at the same time you tell a story which amplifies and makes it more powerful. So if you can do that, that's not only going to improve your portfolio, but also going to improve your skills with composition, with compositing, lighting, shadows, etc. Because oftentimes these images, like I showed you in the practical part, so if you haven't seen the practical part of this tutorial, go ahead and watch it. We're creating a scene over there, right? And we're creating a story. So when you look at, where is it? At this scene, right? That's a clear story. There is a ship in some kind of a showroom, and some group of engineers or staff, they are preparing this ship before it's going to be, opened for the public, the exposition. And there's a clear sort of understanding. When you look at this image, you know what's happening. There are certain people working, some maintenance people working on this vessel. The vessel is located in some kind of like a showroom because it doesn't look like a hangar at all. And you know what the hell is happening, right? So this is the key of telling a story with your images. So you do present your model, but at the same time you show off your skills with compositing, with composition, and you basically tell people that you're not just a modeler, but you're also an artist. Okay, that's really important. Now, when you're using images like I did here, none of my models were used here. These are all images or 3D previews from PixelSquid. It's a plugin for Photoshop. And you need to really understand the angles, the perspective, camera focal length, etc. And, depth of field and all that. And also need to create the entire scene from scratch because basically you have nothing, okay, at the beginning. So you need to put together a lot of different elements and images and make sure they actually work together. So this is a fantastic exercise for understanding, Photoshop, composition, perspective, depth, and all these, right? But if you have 3D models, it's just much easier because you can create scenes in Blender like I've done here. So the truck, these two guys in the dunes, that's all done in Blender. And this background here, that's just an image from internet. And of course I brought it all together into Photoshop and combined them to create one image. So this image is super simple. You got a sphere, which took me, 10 seconds to make because that's a sphere with basically a few extruded faces and a bit of light. That's it. These two trucks were created by me, but you could use anything really. And these are just pictures of, cutouts of the ships from the Ultimate Guide to Hardops and Boxcar course, right? And these are just some comm towers that I modeled some time ago. And that's it, okay? So there are not many elements in here, and you can create some really cool scenes with something really, really simple. But you could just practice, you could practice composition and compositing by creating these images. It's a lot of fun and it's very educational. When I was doing photography, I was creating a lot of composites, and I've learned a lot about, the composition, color, lighting, scale, also perspective and themes and ideas, because you need to think what you need to create. So it develops your artistic sort of side of the brain, if you will, because you need to come up with a story, to come up with an environment, you need to come up with an angle. You can go ahead on the internet and kind of, look for references, but you want to create something original, something that's going to be yours, right? And it's not easy, but every time you create one, you're getting closer and closer to master of composition, again, compositing, colors, depth, scale, and all these things. So you're getting better and better, and it's going to be easier and easier. So I encourage you to tell a story with your renders. It doesn't have to be complicated like this. It can be something simpler. Let me show you. This is a very good example of extremely simple storytelling. All I've done is I just grab a model, put it on a plain background, added some trim sheets in the foreground, and that's it. Duplicated that to place it in here. It's the same model, and just placed a human and modeled a very simple kind of like a toolkit here, or a toolbox, whatever. here in the bottom. And this human is from the Pug by Jama Jurabif. You can get it on Gumroad. There's a link in the PDF provided with this course. And that's it, guys. So I literally took my model, placed a human to simulate some kind of maintenance person trying to open this generator door or whatever. And that's it, and it's a very simple way of storytelling. So like I said, try different things. Don't just post models, rendered statically. Try to create a story. It's not easy, and you're gonna be bumping into some problems, but that's the best way to learn. Overcoming obstacles and getting better and better with your skills. I remember my calligraphy teacher told me something very interesting that really changed the way I look at education and learning, okay? I remember that I didn't like specific style in calligraphy, and he told me that you don't like that style because you don't understand it. So you should study it, and perhaps you'll understand its beauty and energy and all that, right? You're gonna appreciate it when you understand it. So usually we don't like things we don't understand or we don't know because we have no reference, right? We have no knowledge at all, and we usually fear them because we think that we cannot do it. What you need to do is overcome this fear or this block and do things that scare you, because if you don't do things that scare you, that means your dreams are too small, okay? So again, try to tell a story with your render as much as you can. Try to create multiple renders, multiple angles, to experiment with lighting. Don't just create one render, okay? Try to move your camera around. If you look at my ArtStation, most of my works either come as a one image, which is a storytelling image, or they come with, in the form of multiple images that show different angles of the model, or, show them in a different light, etc., okay? This truck is a good example because I created two different images for it. So this is one story, and this would be a completely different one. It's the same truck, but a very different lighting, a very different mood, and a very different story, right? So try to play with renders, try to play with environment, try to play with your models, put them in a different angle, different light, different situation, different mood, okay? And create a story for your models, because that will really enhance the quality of your portfolio. And I cannot stress this enough. Your portfolio is the most important thing out there, because that's your business card. That's how you're going to get clients. And the more advanced and the more, beautiful your portfolio is going to be, the more money you can charge. So if you want to make money with 3D and enjoy your life, then you really need to work on your portfolio, and playing with composition and ideas and lights and models, etc., and creating cool storytelling images is one of the best ways of becoming a pro at rendering.